Kate was out of town last weekend and the weather dipped below 70. And I thought to myself, what am I, a weekend bachelor, going to cook for myself? And that cold weather is pretty nostalgic for me, and every time it comes around I think to myself, chili. Maybe you're all thinking the same thing too. I know everybody tends to have their own chili recipe, gets passed down through generations, and what we're here today to show you is our plant-based version that's super high in nutrients, very protein dense, super tasty, really easy to make, and it's very cost effective. So we're excited to have you here. My name is Joshua, this is Catherine, and this is Feel Better Eating, a whole food plant-based experience where we encourage you to eat foods that make you feel better. Catherine, talk to us about the menu today.
This is a chili for everything, because when it gets chilly, you crave chili, or at least I do. When the weather changes, it triggers different emotions, memories, stories, and how many storylines do you have where chili is involved? And then since we're plant-based, it's about building a plant-based chili that has very dynamic taste and nutrients. Our chili for everything recipe involves all of that. So this chili recipe doesn't have meat in it, but has a nutrient profile that adequately replaces meat in it. So that is very exciting. So I love sharing when recipes can cover all the bases for nutrients that you need in a day.
I'm all about taste, efficiency, and ease of cooking, and this chili recipe for me ticks all of those boxes. So Catherine, let's get into it. Talk us through what's going to go into this chili pan.
We are first going to add the black beans and kidney beans. So that is going to be for protein and iron and fiber texture, and which chili doesn't have some sort of bean in it. So we're going to get those in there.
Gonna get them in there.
Nice.
We're going to be adding tomatoes. This is actually 1 can. It's a little bit watery, but this is super necessary. It's also how you're going to get it liquidy and get all of those flavors together. So we're going to add tomatoes into that.
You can use fresh tomatoes if you want to. We're just trying to make this as easy as possible because we have the canned beans, the canned tomatoes, but if you want to use cooked beans from dry or fresh tomatoes, feel free to customize it, obviously. Next, we're going to add corn. Oh.
Plot twist, the corn is still in the can.
The one thing we forgot.
Prepared ahead of time. We're going to get corn in there. Again, you can use fresh as well, especially if you have any left over from this year's harvest and you're looking for ways to use it up. Chili is a really good way to get through all of your corn stock that you don't want to keep over winter. It has this really nice yellow colour, and you can put a lot of it in and nobody ever complains if you add more corn in my opinion.
It pops.
It pops. The reason that we add these sweet peppers, bell peppers, is because they have really high amount of vitamin C in here. In fact, 1 serving of sweet pepper or bell pepper contains all of your daily dose of vitamin C, and vitamin C is an antioxidant that's really effective against free radicals, so it's going to boost your immune system. We're also going to add celery in here, which is at the front. You might not be able to distinguish the colours there, but Catherine, why are we adding celery sticks?
So celery is across the spectrum with nutrients, and it's going to add a unique texture and flavor to the dish.
And whilst we're on this bowl, we might as well talk about the last thing, which is carrots. We're adding carrots in for that orange colour, but they're also really good for you. And there's a thing called the doctrine of signatures, which is essentially where if we look at nature and the plants and vegetables that grow, if they represent a certain body part, odds are that it's actually very beneficial for that body part. When I was growing up, there was that, like, if you eat carrots, you'll be able to see in the dark. Has anybody ever heard that before? Yeah, you have heard that before, great. It's not just an English thing or just my family, we're all crazy, like eating carrots, trying to see. Oh, look. But if you actually cut a carrot in half.
Break it.
If you cut a carrot in half and then you hold it up next to your eye like this, if you look at the cross section, it actually looks a lot like an eye, even in these baby ones. So when I learned about the doctrine of signatures, and then I was like, oh, I got told that growing up, and these are really good for your eye health, so we're going to add those in there. These should actually be diced, but
dice it up.
Dice it up, and we're just going to put them in. But that's always really interesting to me. There's like avocados are really good for pregnant women, and if you cut an avocado in half, it looks just like a pregnant one where the seed would be a baby. And they really help women through the whole cycle of having a child. And there's loads of, all the different plants do that. And once you get an awareness of that, I just keep seeing it everywhere in nature. The same with celery. It looks kind of like a bone. It's really good for your bone health. So it's a quick, easy way where you don't have to go get a medical degree to know which plants are good for what. Just look at it. Oh, look at it. And you'll be able to see where it's good for.
Next, we're going to be adding mustard. So who doesn't have mustard in their fridge? Some sort of mustard, yellow mustard, brown mustard, Dijon, whatever you've got. Just put it in there. It doesn't matter. It's just what you got and you utilize it. And mustard adds that dynamic flavor that you'll be like, what is that? It just complements, it goes in it. So we put that in there.
Equally for a complementary flavor, and I'm not sure if people add this to their chilies regularly, but we put honey in. It's that really sweet texture. There's a lot of health benefits to honey that we talk about a lot on this show. Antibacterial, really good for regulating a lot of bodily functions, and it's going to add that sweet taste that you may not be like, oh, there's honey in there, but it does add a big difference. So again, we're going to add that in there. Anything else to add on honey, Catherine?
Yeah, it's just ultra high in raw enzymes. So if you want to just sneak a teaspoon of it while you're adding it in there, get yourself a side teaspoon, snack on it while you're making it. That's my favorite part about cooking, is that I get snacks in between. You know, you got to taste test, quality check.
You do have
and
to taste
when
test.
you have raw honey, you support local beekeepers, hopefully, and you get those boost of raw enzymes.
You could take the beekeeper some chili.
Yeah, I'm making a chili recipe here.
This isn't complete
Exchange
without
chili
your
with
honey.
honey.
Let's do a deal.
Bartering.
Now we're making money on the chili. Seasonings, do you want to grab the seasonings?
Yeah, so seasonings. We were making this one as easy as possible on the eyes and in chopping. So garlic and onion can be smelly and hurt your eyes. And so we do that with most of our previous recipes that you'll find. We use fresh garlic, fresh onion. So we wanted to change it up a little bit in this one and add powdered versions, because most people have powdered seasonings at home. And it just makes it easier, because if you notice so far, we've only chopped the bell peppers, the celery. We would have chopped the carrots, but we didn't. So just eyeball it, taste their preference, get the garlic and onion powder in there. And the seasonings is what makes a chili a chili. So when people say that they're meat eaters, the meat does add a certain flavor to chilies, but it is how you season the meat and season the chili that makes it be like, oh, this is a chili. So we're also gonna add, of course, chili powder. Do we have the smoked paprika out? The smoked paprika is like how you add, oh, there's smoked meat in this, how amazing. Or no, I just like the smoky flavor in a chili.
And then the last ingredient, which is something I actually learned about maybe 24 hours ago whilst just catching up on this recipe, is actually cocoa powder. I've never actually put this in my chili, but I did just do it in the practice, and it's really good. The guy I was watching that did a recipe added half a tablespoon or something of cocoa in. He said there was lots of benefits to the taste and the way that it interacts with all of these different ingredients. So we are going to add that in because I did a taste test, and it is. So we're just going to add, I don't know how much that is, but
That looks good.
we do a lot of things by eye on this show because it's less washing up. And then that's really the chili done, and all we're going to do is just put that on a hob and just cook it for not too long with this. There's a big benefit of having this style of chili over a meat-based chili, at least in my opinion, because you don't have to cook it for very long. The less you cook it, the more enzymes that will be intact by the time that you eat it. So not only is it faster and you get it in, especially if you're hungry, you're going to have a lot more living enzymes still in the food, so it's going to be easy to digest, and there's going to be a whole lot more health benefits experienced. So for me, you know, bachelor weekend, Kate is away, this is how I cook. I just get one pan, chop some stuff up, and I just throw it in, turn it on the hob, and then kind of jobs are good and really. But we are going to add extras to this to take the chili to the next level. So I'm going to put this on, and Catherine's going to talk to us about the next part of the recipe.
Yeah, so that's just putting it on a low heat to infuse the flavors, essentially. Not overcooking it, as Joshua said.
Yeah.
So I like to build my recipes in layers. I usually do a 3-layer system. So I've got the chili base, and I'm going to be adding a sweet nutty sauce to the top of it. So I have it all here in our lovely carafe, as Joshua likes to call it.
The giraffe.
When you search plant-based chili recipes, you'll find people do use chunks of sweet potato in their recipes. And so instead of using them as chunks, I'm going to blend them into a sauce. A point on sweet potatoes and plant-based chilies in general is that when you cut out meat, like I said, you have to replace certain nutrients in your system. So if you go plant-based and it doesn't last very long and you are craving meat, you're craving certain nutrient profiles that you're not getting. And so when you make the choice to maybe eat plant-based more often, doing research into understanding which vegetables are providing you which nutritional benefits is really helpful. So sweet potatoes are actually really high in vitamin A, which is something that meat usually provides for you, which has to do with growth. And so bone growth and development in all parts of your body. The same thing with carrots. See, carrots are strong like a bone. They have to do with bone health, vitamin A. And then this will add to your vitamin A intake to get you almost up to 100% of your daily dose of vitamin A intake.
Similarly, we add cashews into this sauce, and as Kate prefaced, this is how we build these recipes, because when you do go plant-based, you do have to adjust the way that you cook to account for not the missing parts, but to make sure it's not like a diet. You can't just swap meat out and replace it with a carrot and expect the same benefits. You have to layer it up and add new things in. So in here, in this middle layer, these are cashew nuts, big favorite of ours, cost effective. And if you put them into a food tracker, you're going to see the whole plethora of nutrients. They have a full amino acid profile as well, which means you're going to be building muscle from cashew nuts. And they're going to add this thick, sweet, nutty taste to this sauce. That's going to be a nice contrast to the tomatoey paprika base of the chili. Another one of our favorites is nutritional yeast.
Nooch.
Noosh. Nooch?
I say nooch, you say noosh.
It's a plot twist again. Multiple names. Nutritional yeast into this for a cheesy flavor. If you've not had this before, it does taste very cheesy, but also because it has a lot of vitamin B12 in.
Usually you can add raw garlic, but I added garlic powder and onion powder again to take this to a more dynamic level as well. All right, we're gonna take a short blending break where we're gonna add the water to the
So there you have it, there's the creamy nutty sauce. It's pretty viscous and that's going to sit on top nicely with the chili.
Usually like on a chili you get like a dollop of cream cheese. This is kind of just a different flavor contrast that you get that's not the sour cream or cream cheese. It's just sweet and nutty and something that's creamy that you can put on top of your chili.
Never thought about it like that. That's cool. So the last part we're going to add to our chili is a salad on top. We're adding this for multiple reasons. I don't know about you, but I've had chili in the past, especially when it's those thick, slow-cooked, meaty chilies, even though they're very tasty. Because it's been cooked for so long and it has meat in, it can sit quite heavy on the stomach, kind of make it hard to digest, maybe it feels like you want to go to sleep. And if you want to go to sleep after you eat, it usually means that the food isn't digesting properly, and that's why your body is like, we need to stop this and go to sleep and regain energy. Shut down all of the body functions so we can digest what you've just eaten. So that's a good tip if you are feeling tired after eating chili or other food. So what we're going to add is some live salad greens. We're going to talk through each one, but these are going to have a lot of living enzymes in, as we spoke about earlier. With this chili type as well, it's going to have them in there too. But live living enzymes are what helps with digestion. So the more of these that you can add in against the cooked food, the heavier, hard to digest food, they're going to work well together and you'll feel the digestion go straight through. So it's a pretty good tip, I think, to always be adding as many salad greens as you can. It's going to help with digestion. So what we're going to add, what's this, Catherine?
This is chopped up collards and arugula. So arugula is our favorite herb green mixed. You can actually eat like 5 ounces of arugula in a day. To get your fully dosage. So if you're just garnishing your chili with it, you may not be getting your full dosage of greens, but just keep in mind like 5 ounces of greens would be good for you, because when you have arugula, you get also vitamin C.
And then on the left here, we've got collard greens. These have a lot of vitamin A in, similar to what we spoke about earlier with the carrots. This plus that and the sweet potatoes that are here in the sauce, this whole meal is going to have more than your daily recommended target of vitamin A and others, but vitamin A specifically. Avocado, why are we adding avocado, Catherine?
Avocado is a staple in our house with all of our recipes. If you visit feelbetterliving.com, our recipes will have avocado.
And avocado.
We'll have will have avocado in it because of the healthy fats and fibers that they produce and nutrients.
Yeah, it's just good all around. There's nothing bad to be said about avocado, is there?
No. Something that we forgot to discuss is that parsley is also in this recipe. Parsley is a powerful herb, and when you have it with carrots, it's actually a vitamin A, vitamin C overload. And usually with chili dishes, you can see cilantro, but we're going for the parsley instead because of the vitamin C that it produces. So between this and the other vitamin C from the other ingredients like the peppers, you're going to be shining with antioxidants.
So as we talk about on many of these shows, cold press oil like this is the best form to consume oil in. If you cook with oils, it does damage the oil, which makes it actually worse for your body. It's kind of like a car. You put old used oil in, it's not going to run as well, and humans are the same way. And I don't know if anybody's into biohacking or anti-aging, but kind of one of the thought leaders in that niche is called Brian Johnston. He's 52 and he has the metabolic age of an 18-year-old. It's kind of crazy, really. And he's a real big advocate of taking regular shots of olive oil for those properties. And being from England, I've spent a lot of time in the Mediterranean, and their diet is very heavy in olive oil. They eat it fresh. They have it on tables for almost every meal, most starters, most mains, and just wherever they can get it in. And if you see a 65-year-old Spanish woman, typically she's going to be very attractive, in good shape, and as a culture, people that live on the Mediterranean age very well, their skin ages well, and a lot of that is because of olive oil. So if you've never done a shot of olive oil, I highly recommend it.
Buy a nice quality cold pressed extra virgin olive oil, organic, and just take a shot out of it and see how you feel.
See how you feel.
Pretend you're on the
Get that car lubricated.
Pretend you're on the Mediterranean Sea. Let's make a plate out of this.
Let's plate it up.
How does it smell in the audience? Okay? Does it smell good in here? Awesome. Okay. I want to get all of the salad mixed together though, because that will be easier for garnishing. Just I don't want to spill. I think this is the first show we haven't spilled something on the ground.
I was looking for a lunchtime snack to crave off the afternoon hunger. I'd eat something like that.
Yeah,
I'd just eat the whole bowl. And there's so many enzymes in there. If you're not used to eating so many living enzymes, if you eat something like this, you're probably going to get digestive movement, and you might find yourself going to the bathroom, because a lot of the food that we eat, we don't actually digest very well because there are no enzymes in it. So it's the bodily processes can't function too well. So if you're ever looking for a pick-me-up, avocado will provide the satiating calories, and then all of these greens will provide those enzymes that we're looking for. Just a side note. It's like a meal in itself. Get it in there. As Kate plates this up, you can obviously pair this dish with other things if you like. Chili pretty much goes with anything. I'm sure you all know that. Rice, what's that other thing Americans, cornbread. That's a new thing. I'd never eat cornbread in England, but chips, fries, potatoes, jacket potatoes, whatever you really want. But
2 cups is enough, right?
yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
So do you want to add that on top of how much?
And then I need a measuring cup for the sweet nutty sauce, please.
Yep. That looks good, that. Oh yeah. This would be nice with cilantro in as well. Any of those herbs really.
Yeah, herbs.
You can mix it up.
Always
and if you
make a
keep in the
dish.
chili for multiple days, when you remix it and want to eat it again, you could change up the herbs, and it will change the experience.
Just dollop it right in the middle, please, babe.
I could do that. Oh, that's thick, that. There?
Yep.
Ooh.
Okay, now we'll show Kevin. Ta-da! There you go, guys. So whether you are going to a sports ball game in someone's garage, or watching a spooky movie, or just meeting up in general, it's the time of the year where we meet inside and gather and eat warm, delicious food. And I think this recipe would be a really unique chili recipe to bring to any of your social gatherings.
I think so too. I think adding this nutty sauce on the top instead of, as you said, queso or sour cream is going to be a different flavour. We're excited for the live audience to try this. It was very easy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was really easy to make, and that's what we are all about, is efficient, healthy food. As I said, this does tick 6 of your daily recommended targets. So much good stuff in here, and all of these living enzymes on the left as well, with the fresh herbs and salad. We're excited to try it. So thank you all for watching. This has been Feel Better Eating. I've been Joshua. This has been Catherine. This is a chili for everything. And we really hope that you've taken something from this show to go and experiment with eating plants in this way. They can be a great substitution, or in my opinion, just a better solution to eating and feeling good after we eat than the traditional standard diets that we're kind of told to eat in a lot of ways. And as always, we have this recipe linked below in the description, or you can find it on our website, feelbetterliving.com. Catherine, any other regards before we jump off?
No, thank you for watching here. Thank you for watching on YouTube, and I hope that you get a chance to try this recipe.
Much love, everybody. Peace.
Much love.
Right.
Thank you, Henry.
Well, who wants this one? A big thank you to all of our show sponsors and supporters who make this show possible. The Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte, Grace Learning Centre, Citizens Concerned for the Homeless, and ALCO, Access LaPorte County. We appreciate all of your support.